Folks, there's a lot going on between the good people at San Diego Comic Con getting ready to get their con-a-thon on, Walmart Collector Con getting ready to con their ways to our wallets and bank accounts, and all your usual action figure toy shenanigans. I had to take stick. I've been doing this for quite a while. And one of my buddies, who's been there toy hunting, fig chasing, sale making, booty shaking, depending on who you ask, is my very special guest today, none other than Travis freaking Moody. Folks, get ready for episode 10 of Black Genghis Live. Welcome to Black Genghis Live. I am your host, KJ, aka Black Genghis, and to my right is none other than editor-in-chief of A Toy Kind of Mood, formerly Geeks Have Game, formerly God Hates Geeks, Travis fucking Moody. What's up, homie? What's going on with
you? That's the beauty of not being monetized yet. You could just go right out and be like, motherfucker.
No, it's 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All you guys have to do is 20 seconds. That's it. It's 20 seconds. That's the rule.
We still haven't figured that out 4 years in, but you got it all. You got it all handled.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, man. Well, we got a lot to jump into. We're gonna be talking about San Diego Comic Con. We're gonna be talking about that great episode you had with Fresh Monkey Fiction. A whole bunch of stuff that Joe drops today. But first, let's holler at the chat, shall we?
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the homie Chad Kinsler. What's up, man? Jason S. Thank you very much. Zen, Baldy Locks, what's going on with you, man? DJ 5 Ash, what's up? Yes, Travis Bleeping Moody. Sabir, always good seeing you, man. Shout out to NYC, the place to be. Trey, what's up with you, man? Oh, yeah, Genghis kind of mood. Yeah, I'm always in a Genghis kind of mood.
Always.
And thank you so much, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, before we jump into it, how have you been, Travis?
Great. And there's North Hollywood for you. No ho.
Oh yeah, you can hear. Yeah, I might as well. Hold on a second. I think I have enough juice. I have noise canceling.
All good. You don't want to sound too much like D Amazing.
Right.
Did you get me on that? Did you get me on that? No, I was saying you don't want to sound too much like D Amazing. Sirens just be blaring off in every review.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We got some noise cancellation going on pretty much.
Oh, man.
But yeah, but how are things? How are you feeling about Comic-Con, man? Like, what's up?
I'm good. First of all, BG, thanks for having me on. This is the 10th episode, right? 10, perfect 10. Boom, boom, boom. So thanks for having me on, and we're partners in crime at Comic-Con. It's you and me, Starsky and Hutch. It's going to be a good time, and this is going to be a little warm-up, and I'm pumped, and thanks for having me on. It's my first day off in like 3 weeks, so I was like ready to go. You know, I've been missing a toy kind of mood. Apologize about that, but it's nice to be here.
All right, yeah. And you know what? This is sort of like, how you have like the spinoff that's been going on as almost as long as the main show now, like basically, and you still have like people from Happy Days showing up on Mork and Mindy. Damn, I'm old. Anyway,
Here we go.
Man. So it's a toy kind of mood, repping at San Diego Comic Con. We can talk about, you know what? Hold on a second. This almost never works, but let's go ahead and take a look at the programming schedule. Let's see. Can you see this? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So look, this is where the magic is. And, I'm excited about all the stuff that's going to be happening right now. I'm just looking at the panels, right? But like there's the Independent Film Festival, there's games, there's all sorts of stuff, right? You got into the Deadpool panel, didn't you? Like,
dude, that was the email I woke up to today. It was like, congratulations. Shout out to my guy Derek. You met Derek, right?
Yeah, Derek's cool. He's good.
Yeah. My dude, he's been going he's like the first friend I met at Comic-Con. So, shout out to him, and we're gonna go to that panel together. I owe him one for all these years of him being good to me and always getting me and stuff. So it was the least I could do. But the crazy thing is, it starts like right when the Joe panel ends. So
Yeah, the whole
good
ass.
luck to everybody. If they're doing giveaways during the Q&A, I won't be getting a stalker this year. I'm booking as soon as they're like, all right, Q&A time. I'm out of there. I got to make it to Hall H and see my boys, you and Ryan. I can't miss them.
All right, man. Well, no one will fault you for leaving a little early, man. But the plan is we're going to be covering the Joe panel. We'll see how it goes. We have not been having the best of luck with panels, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man. I think what I like about Comic-Con is that it's geek mecca. Like you see all sorts of cool cosplayers. Sometimes these are the only cats who like get the same shows that you grew up watching. Like if you're making a Pirates of Dark Water joke, like these guys will actually get it. These guys will get your Stargate Infinite joke, like that kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think it's cool. Like I've been going since 2009, and even before that, like I knew about it. So man, I can't wait to go. And when I got the chance, just loved it, just fell in love. And whenever I can go, that's a good year. That's a good time. Also, some folks joining us. Shout out to Richie fucking Cunningham from Happy Days and that universe of shows. Son of a Crayon Slayer. I love the name. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Aaron, thanks, man. I really appreciate you. But let's go ahead and go back to these slides, right? So let's go ahead and talk about Walmart CollectorCon. What are you excited about coming from this? Like what figs are you looking forward to? Like what are you trying to get your hands on?
Well, I'd initially say I'm not excited about any of it because it's Walmart. But big but we got that Night Force Shockwave.
Yes.
That hit. We threw a review on it, so I kind of moved. Tony Sfigs did a review as well, comparing his custom stuff. So a lot of people reviewing it, and it was $38 and it shipped in a day. So Walmart definitely stepped up its game there. If you scroll up to the top, I can probably pick a couple things I'm looking forward to. Because we got WWE stuff, but yeah, Venom will be cool. I missed that this morning, but I guess we're getting Venom and Warlord, so that'll be good. Marvel Legends stuff,
some cool stuff. Yeah, good card. Yeah, $25, which is good. Yeah,
that's not bad. $25 for a big boy Venom and a retro card.
Well, they needed to stop playing games. Yeah. I think Rosscon taught them a couple of lessons, if I'm being honest.
So I don't know a whole lot about Warlord, but obviously he's part of that cover, the Fame cover that they're making all the figures off the Jim Lee
the
cover.
275.
But the cover, he's purple, so I don't know how I feel about it. I'll probably grab it, but
they'll probably make another one of those, that kind of thing.
Right. It's one of those things you just grab it because it's going to have value, and if you don't want it, you'll get your money back at least.
All right, man. Well, look, let's go ahead. Let's go straight to it. Let's go ahead and talk about the figs of the hour. We got to talk about Night Force.
Street Sharks.
We got to talk about Street Sharks. Shout out to
we got
Vin Diesel commercial. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, I know, right?
So what say you to this, man? Night Force, Falcon, and Quarrel.
Well, they fixed the face. They gave us a new face. I think the Steel Corp 2-pack was the most disappointing thing we got in a long time when that released. But otherwise, some of the points of emphasis on the recent reviews I've done is reuse and how effective it can be. And it fluctuates with some of the characters we got lately. And I think this is highly effective reuse all the way around. I mean, can you here some of the pieces, right, that they're reusing?
Yeah, the Range Viper vest, the legs, definitely probably reuse. Quarrel is a legacy reuse of Scarlet and always has been from the beginning, and I'll touch on that later.
Right. And then we got Shooter on the upper torso with the vest as well. And then we got Outback, Range Viper, uh, arms there.
Yeah, Tony
So
Spiggs has a great breakdown of it. He really does.
yeah, and then we got what do we got? We got like a SIG, which was Range Viper's gun there. That's like an M338 or whatever. And then we got that M32 grenade launcher, which we've seen. I hope it's not as that thing was so gummy
It's
with the
going to
Range
be,
Viper.
it may be the same material, but once again, just switching back to that Range Viper, we can get a better look at that vest. And then you'll once again that plate carrier, and you have the bandolier that kind of helps disguise it. But yeah, it's showing back up again. I'm not mad at it. Sometimes I get mad when Cobra stuff ends up with the Joes and vice versa, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad.
Yeah, I like this pump handle shoddy that he had though. It's much better than the one that
Yeah,
crazy
the one that
Nerf thing.
cracks open is sort of like a
Yeah,
hybrid shotgun. Yeah.
yeah, that thing was like would shoot at you, but this one is more realistic. It's like yeah, this one's kind of a hybrid in a way because it's automatic and pump handle. But that's good. And then you get the M16 from Grunt with that kind of what is it like an AR 74 kind of
Yeah.
freaking barrel or whatever. But
Yeah, just a
you know, it's
standard
pretty good.
M14. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Glocks. You got
Couple of
the
pistols. Yeah.
yeah, that
Crossbow with the arrows. Yeah.
automatic crossbow, a lot of knives. And where are we gonna put those flashlights? Because that's a
There's gonna
different backpack.
that's Tunnel Rats backpack. So the same place like
Well,
those
is that the same one from
I think
Tunnel
so.
Rat?
Yeah, because it
Or
can
is that
fit
Falcon's backpack?
those flash lights fit in the they fit in the backpack. So
At the
that's
top, right? Yeah, but that's
but actually
okay,
you're right. That is Falcon's backpack. That is.
it's different than Tunnel Rats, is what I'm saying, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But the nods are the same up top. Yeah.
Yeah, just that the flashlights, the nods are the same. The flashlights come from Tunnel Rat.
Right.
But yeah, there's some really interesting stuff here. Let's go ahead and take a look at old Capitan real quick. Yeah. So yeah, same book bag, same backpack with the antenna.
Figure of the year right there.
Oh man, I got words, but we'll touch on that later.
What do you think of Quarrel though?
Oh, I love Quarrel, and the next segment's going to be her. Yeah, but can't be mad. Destro sells, but yep, he's gotta chase that money. You'd be surprised. Don't drop those Vala accessories. You don't want them to break into pieces. Yeah, so it's a Tunnel Rat flashlights. You know, war wounds. What can I say? You know, have some sympathy. Lawrence, hey, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that.
What up, punk?
What's up, man? But I love the photography that we got going on here. I mean, just really great stuff. They look great, even with the steel core helmets. Yeah. Shout out to Shooting the Galaxy. I'm going to assume that's who that is. Shout out to Pac. What's up, Pac Photos? Thanks for joining us, man.
What up, punk?
Maybe, perhaps. But reuse does help lengthen the line. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of reuse, but this Quarrel, right? I am loving it. I love the head sculpt. I love just the attitude of it. I love the colorway. I love how they really made it fit here, going back to that slide. I love like the shades of greens and reds. It's just a really great tribute. It still fits in with Night Force. And once again, we're going to be touching on that classic Quarrel sculpt. But I'm digging the hell out of this.
And look at how freaking jacked Falcon is because he's using that Outback buck, the upper torso.
He's been doing weights with Outback, so that's why he's been.
Right. His face was so ugly. His face was so ugly. He couldn't leave the gym for like months and years, man.
No, that was Ozempic face. That's what that was. That was. But yeah, man. Like overall, like, what's your take on this 2-pack? Like.
I mean, it's fantastic. You got a question about are they helmets or heads? And I think these are actually heads. But if you look at that's a great picture because it looks like
it could be either.
Right. Like if you because the way the visor is set up, it does look like the Clutch and Shockwave one, the Night Force Shockwave one, where it could fit over, but the old school Steel Brigade, Steel Corps was just a helmet.
with just the
I mean,
helmet.
it
And
wasn't.
honestly, I
I was
think just
reading, yeah.
swapping, yeah, I think the heads, because Cosmic Legions, and you did a great video on Cosmic Legions, but they do that. Like instead of having a helmet fit over the head, you just swap it because the way that the helmets are, it's kind of impossible to fit them over the heads. It would be like bobbleheads by the time that you did it.
Right, except for
So,
the one that was like the big Snoopy cap, I called it. Or the peanut, the big, yeah. So
yeah.
but no, it's dope. You know, like Steel Core was kind of getting to be like a weak thing, but they're keeping it streamlined. Obviously, we're seeing it with Shockwave, we're seeing it with Clutch. So they're starting to like you know, that 2-pack was kind of weak, but at least they've kind of made up for it with these recent releases. But the color scheme is dope. They certainly look at that. People said, oh, they still didn't fix Falcon's face. Now look at that. That's perfect. That's
Yeah,
better
it's
than
great.
any Valaverse, custom, Marvel Legends, like whatever. Like people have been doing some great, you know, replacements, stand-ins, but this is Falcon. I want to know what Carson thinks. Our Carson Metaxas. That's his guy.
Yeah. No, hopefully he'll be pleased.
Right.
Yeah, but they definitely needed to get this right, and they did. And they did. I will be getting the 2-pack. I may get 2 of them, so I can have one for my OG Falcon. Well, probably this will be the same head sculpt that will go on a retro card Falcon if they choose to do that,
Right.
and they choose to go that
Right.
route.
I have a question for you. So can we go back one slide?
Sure. Let's take a look.
Perfect. Yeah. So would you rather have had this or what the rumored 2-pack where it was Heart Wrencher and Falcon, kind of like a foes spy versus spy kind of thing, or would you rather have
No.
the team 2-pack?
I like the team 2-packs. I like that because when you're doing like spy versus spy, you know, Cobra and Joe, like people who like Cobra love Cobra, and the same thing goes for the Joes. There are people who just like, I just want my Joes, I just want my OG 13,
Like Bobby.
Night Force. Yeah, I just want the good guys, right? And you have people who have both. You can't always bet on that. So if you're building ranks, I'd rather get a Valkyrie 2-pack. I'd rather get you know, Tripwire and Roadblock, Falcon and Quarrel. That's how I'm going to do it because I'm going to build those ranks out specifically. That Viper 3-pack. It would have been weird to get a Dreadnought, a Viper, and Grunt. It's like, no, I don't want that, you know. So it's going to be something like that. Shout out to Mr. Roper. What's up, man?
What up?
Yes. Is we got to have it for our collections. Shout out to Viper Scout. Not a fan of Army Building Steel Core, but as you as a Joe, only time there would be 2 Steel Core in the room if you and your buddies there. Agreed is a better set. Let Heart Wrencher come with a Dreadnought cycle. Yeah, probably will come with a vehicle, or it still could come standalone, or with 2 Dreadnoughts. We haven't gotten that Dreadnought 2-pack yet. Not yet, right? Mm-hmm. So it just really depends on how you want to collect. But I want to go back to this, man, because it's a tale of 2 Falcons. It's like it's better in so many ways, even to the point where the shirt that's supposed to be not tucked in and they just made it part of the web gear. It's like I would have rather they would have done something like Jita Toys, because Jita Toys, great overlays with Ryu and Kin, that kind of thing, right? Or soft goods. Like you wouldn't need a soft good to really pull off that look. It's like I know so many people who took X-Acto knives and they just cut that shirt piece off of the web gear. You can't really reuse that web gear as a customizer. It's just
when are you gonna ever get an untucked shirt in the military unless it's like a, you know, after work I'm in a bar fight or something like this?
It was storytelling. That's what it was. Shout out to Pure Soul 81. Thanks for joining us, man. It's storytelling. Like Falcon's supposed to be a screw up. He's supposed to be like the degenerate half brother that's, you know, undependable.
Sure.
That kind of thing, right? But I think the problem was like when you have a character like this, and so many things went wrong that they didn't plan for. This was during a time where classified series could really do no wrong. Like everybody was like, it was the hottest line. Where's Falcon? Blah, blah, blah. And I think they just weren't careful. Punk says that shoulder shit is coming off day one. People aren't a fan of Paul Druins. I don't mind the Paul Druins. I don't mind. But yeah, you can customize. You can do what you like. Do what you like. Let's take a.
Well, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I would just say I think because like you made a good point. They're gonna use that face again and give us a nice retro carded, a real American hero throwback Falcon, because you don't make a messed up mainline Falcon and then make like a subline team and leave it alone. You have to
Yeah,
come back. You have to circle around. Obviously, a card back would enhance it with the art on the card and everything, the card stock. So that'll be shoulder Peldrinless. I
yeah,
love the shoulder Peldrins here because it makes it Night Force. Like he's not going to get a gas mask, but he gets the shoulder Peldrins. Like it just you got to have something to make him different than the main line.
yeah. And with a retro card Falcon, there'll be a good chance to redo this figure top to bottom. Doing Night Force allowed them to get the head sculpt, but doing this allows them to a retro card allows them from top to bottom have a better Falcon. Shout out to Viper Scout saying the shells in the vest give me Major Flint vibes. Yeah. It's kind of reminiscent of that. Trey Toyomic Display says just unboxed the real Wayne R. Sneeden from 75th. Okay, true that. Great figure. Madsen says considers he carries a shotgun. It makes sense here. Not that the steel core. Well, give your steel core a shotgun. That's what I would do. Shout out to Thanatos Unlimited. Justin Booth makes a good point. Shout out to Jay's Armory, one per case on Etsy, and Thanatos Unlimited. Great spots. But let's take a closer look at this face, Moody. What say you to this, man? Look what they did to this dude. Like, they had to, even though the picture on the left is a little bit blurry, it still looks better than what's going on here on the right. It's like it's
right. That's sad when a blurry face is prettier than one that's clear, right?
Yeah, they had to get this one right. That's the thing.
When our 240 internet is better than 4K. But I wish the Falcon picture had the beret, because I'm wondering if the beret is just a recolor or if it's a little different mold. It's hard for me to tell from many of the images that we have. But yeah,
I think it's the same. I don't think they would have spent money on a remold. I think it's the same.
Right. Yeah, from that angle, it does look better. Obviously, it's just a much better face sculpt. It's just normal. It's not creepy. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Major upgrade, just like Pure Soul said. Zartan in disguise. Nice. Aaron says, I'll be picking this up, use the head for Falcon. The Steel Core said, okay, yeah, so you can make this a troop builder. And that's the thing about getting these helmets. You can make it a troop builder if you want. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. Like it's, the options are unlimited with classified. Shout out to Chaz the Guru. The man never misses. And he's just lightning fast. Is like, yes, from the 3-point line. Yeah. We'll see how we look in our 50s. I'm not gonna laugh at that, man. I'm trying to look like
almost
this.
There.
We'll see what happens. And yes, we'll be celebrating you very soon. Let's put it that way. But we gotta talk about Quarrel.
We do.
How much do you know about this original Palatoy Action Force character, Quarrel, from Z Force or Z Force, as they say overseas?
Well, let me tell you the entire background of Quarrel. No, I don't know shit about her, so I'm just glad that people are excited. It's like Glenda. I didn't know anything about Glenda, and then even more so about this character. But I do know, obviously, it's a Battle Action Force, right? Palatoy.
Yeah.
We're and obviously we're going to talk about that because I said Joe Fest was like the year of like Battle Action Force or Red Shadows, right? Obviously, this is a good guy. It's Action Force, not Red Shadows, but it's nice to see that bleed over into Hasbro products, right? Because we're getting that with Skeletron. We're getting that with Fresh Monkey Fiction. We're getting that with some terrific books, that we get the Total Action Force, Battle Action Force. Shout out to Brian Hickey, Patty Lennon, and everybody. Like it's a lot of British G.I. Joe. It's a British invasion of G.I. Joe is what we had at Joe Fest and what we got on these pre-orders coming up. And it's nice to see some of that come over into our main G.I. Joe line of the modern day.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. I was just saying it's nice to see that, that they're not afraid to go with the deep cuts, and the fan base has been very receptive. They're not. I didn't see too many like, I don't know who this is. This is shitty. It should have been someone else. It should have been Lady J or or Jinx or whatever.
Yeah, I
It's
think a
nice
lot of that.
the feedback has been good.
A lot of that's calmed down because I think a lot of that
100%.
happened with Glinda, with the Commandos Heroicos from Argentina, was in bad faith. I think it was people that wanted to piss and moan, and they wanted to make an impact on the line for better or for worse. And I think a lot of those people either bled off, or whatever conversations were had between now and then, they kept their mouth shut and good. I want to give a shout out once again to this book. This is the Palatoy story. This is one of the books that you were mentioning. Great read. You can still get this at Total Toy Books, just like Travis said. I'll put the link in the description later. And also more about Battle Magazine, which then became Battle Action Force, like Travis had said. But yeah, you can learn a lot about just how different toy manufacturers approach.
In World War. I want to supplement that. And shout out, it's a lot of shout outs I get, but we're coming off Joe Fest, met a lot of people. Shout out to Jason Morrell of Order of Battle podcast. And he had Bob Reekin, he had Patty Lennon and Brian Hickey all in one show, and they went over that Palatoy story. And it's more of a conversation with Bob, but Patty and Brian were there to support and talk about the process of that book and then their road to Joe Fest and how Joe Fest went. It's a really fascinating podcast. Jason's one of the best G.I. Joe podcast hosts around. Definitely check that out. It's on like Spotify. But Order of Battle, go check it out. I think the last episode they did was with Bob about the Palatoy story and Brian and Patty.
Okay, cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
So right now, a lot of these figures are from the most recent Quarrel figure we have, which is about nearly 15 years ago, and that was from Collectors Club in 2011. But I want to take it back even further to the OG Quarrel, man. So like here you can really see like the roots of that original Scarlet figure, and that whole Z Force was about taking those Joe molds and flipping it into something new. It was almost like the original customizer and like making their own universe. So it's cool that over in Britain, like they had their own Joes. Like they really still to this day have a lot of love for Z Force and Action Force, the Palatoy Action Force. So we got that Night Pursuit with Shockwave. I'm gonna put Quarrel straight on that bitch. It's gonna be dope. Like, cause it's just really cool to see what just what's essentially a different paint job can transform it into something completely different. Like that Ram cycle can become a Dreadnought cycle. It can become a Crimson Guard cycle. It can become this thing, that thing. So yeah, it's just really cool that the world of Joe can like really go international, worldwide. So it's not just a real American hero. That's the root of it. That's the foundation of it. It always will be that. But it truly is a worldwide phenomenon. Like, our good friends, Ray Murphy, Leanne Hobbs, and so on and so forth. Ferry the Workaholic, Ken Poe over in up north in Canada. Yep. Like we have like a lot of people who have love for these figures in this world.
Yeah. Want to make two comments. One about, since you got the Ram there, I'll talk about that.
All right.
Obviously, we got the Night Pursuit. And I think the Night Pursuit obviously fits Quarrel better than Shockwave or this character that probably wasn't even like there is a Night Force Shockwave, but obviously like with the way they designed it, it's almost like an amalgamation of a lot of different things. But you're not going to sell a Night Pursuit with Quarrel. That's just going to rot at retail, right? Shockwave is a bigger name. Even Walmart knows that. But doing the doing the 2-pack of Quarrel and Falcon is a nice mix because people want that Falcon so badly, even just for the face sculpt. And then you're getting a lot of accessories and you're getting a much better Falcon all the way around. And then Quarrel is almost a bonus to some people. It's a number one figure for people who are really into the line, like you and I and some other people, more than just another Falcon. But I think it supplements Falcon better. So it makes sense. But yeah, if you get both, you're going to want to throw Quarrel on the back of that ride, aren't you?
Hell yeah. It's like she just pushes Shockwave off to the side. She's like, hold on, dear. Let me go ahead. She uses her exotic feminine wiles.
Yeah, and then the other comment I just want to make was, we got that omnibus, which I know you backed. I didn't. I actually didn't. It made like almost $2 million, and I didn't back it. And I don't need to go into why, but I'm more excited for the Action Force stuff from back in the day, the 80s, that Total Action Force, Battle Action Force.
Yeah,
I'm more interested. I pre-ordered those 3 books from Brian and Patty because I don't know that world, and we're starting to see it in toy form, and I want to learn more about that world. I've read all of A Real American Hero countless times, and I have it on digital, and the omnibus is great, but I had to back that pre-order for the Battle Action Force, because that's a world that I want to know about, because we're getting great toys from it from different smaller companies, and now we're starting to see some of the characters pop up
yeah.
with Hasbro.
And time again, they go back into it. Here you can see some of the vintage Palatoy figures that came like straight off of the molds and outside the paint and everything else. And you can really see like the roots of those original Joe figures. And once again, during Collectors Club, they did it again. So here it is, like the 2011. And it's just interesting seeing that level of upgrades and the growth, right? And still, G.I. Joe Club showing love to that world, to Z Force, to Action Force, to the Palatoy team, of all those different characters. And if we can basically get, Quarrel into this line, there's really no limit to all the others. So I say bring it on. Let's go ahead. Let's get, Skip, and let's get the different vehicles, and let's get all those characters. They already have the classified molds, so let's go ahead and let's get these guys. Let's do it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let me.
I think it's well.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say it's one of those things though where, again, like Quarrel, and even Quarrel is far more popular than these characters from what I know, right? So it's going to be, I would don't know if you can sell these separately unless it's a limited thing on Pulse or some
Like
kind
do
of
like a different pack or
exclusive.
something like that, right?
A pack, but almost like I like the 2-pack of putting a Joe with an Action Force character or something like. Oh, but who doesn't want British Steve Harvey Stalker though? You got to get that.
Exactly. All right, man. Let me go ahead and show some love to the chat real quick. My fellow KJ says, "What's up, man? What's up with you?" Shout out to Ostradamus, man. Be sure to check out my dude Ostradamus on YouTube. Ostradamus Toys. Check out the Clubhouse and chill with the fun toy vibes. Viper Scout is naming them off. Jammer, God Show, Blades, Action Man. Of course, Action Man goes way back and then led to the Action Force line, which then led into using the Joe mold. So that Action Man G.I. Joe connection is really cool. They even brought back Action Man in the 90s. It didn't go far because the toys were gargantuan. They were like 12-inch toys or something like that.
Well, we got Action Soldier and Action Diver. Now we just need Action Man.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about? Action Man, the show? You don't know what I'm talking about? Like,
I've heard of it, and I know Bob was talking about Action Man a lot, Bob Breakin on the interview. So
yeah, it was interesting because, like I said, like the shows were like the toys were enormous. Like they even had vehicles, and it was like you're talking about a 12-inch. You're talking about a 12-inch toy, and then vehicles for a 12-inch toy on retail shelves. So I'm like, only in the 90s where oil didn't cost a damn thing. Like,
hell no. Right.
That's the only time you could do that shit.
Action Jackson, 5 action.
But the love is real, and it's cool to see that, man. So I know that you're also moving on. I know you're a big wrestling fan, right? So you co-host right now a wrestling action figure kind of mood. What's your co-host name again?
So yeah, it's a wrestling figure news kind of mood, and we were gonna actually do an episode today, but it's not like KJ stepped on our toes or anything. It just we're gonna do a joint show with Nick Storm, Figure Friday, and I figured since he does Figure Friday, let's just do it on Friday, and then that way I could relax and do this show and not have to worry about that one. But yeah, tomorrow, for the 3 people in the chat that might like wrestling, You can hang out with us on it. I think we're gonna dual stream it, so I think it'll end up on a Toy Kind of Mood live
Okay, cool.
streamed along with Nick Storm, and then it's going to be on a podcast audio on Wrestling Figure News, so you can get it 3 different ways. I think that's the plan for tomorrow. But we're going to preview Comic-Con for AEW, WWE, and Major Bendies and all that different wrestling stuff. So it's a little niche I like, and I still present for Mattel at Toy Fair for WWE. So that's part of it. It'll be the first panel I go to at Comic-Con. Will be the WWE panel, and we still don't know who's going to be there.
Okay.
Right? So last year was Seth Rollins. Who else was there? Chelsea Green, and
Chelsea
Mick Foley.
Green.
It's Chelsea. And Mick Foley, of course, Mankind,
Nice.
Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. But yeah. So we'll see who's there. It's gonna be fun.
All right, cool, man. Speaking of which, so did you already know about these figures here, or what?
No, I didn't. So we had an idea that it's Walmart, obviously Walmart Collector Con. They're gonna do a whole Build-A-Figure. They're doing their Monday Night War series. So you people in the chat, you big G.I. Joe fans, you remember this stuff. You know why? Because 10 million people were watching wrestling during this time between Raw and Nitro. 10 million people, and you guys were one of them. Don't lie.
Those are the good days. Don't
fire
front.
the closet. Yeah, don't front. You love Monday Night Wars. So this is this Warrior was actually from the failed WCW Nitro stage crowdfund that didn't make it, and now we're getting it after all. And that nice dust jacket there.
Okay, nice.
Jeans Warrior.
All right, cool. And we got Lita and rest in peace, Razor Ramon.
Chico, man. So this is gonna be the NWO Dusty Rhodes Build-A-Figure. We didn't see his face sculpt in these images. I'm guessing it comes with Warrior or 6.
No, it's gonna come with it may come with the Samoan Dynasty. Here's Triple H from that era.
Oh, so this is separate. Yeah, these are why is that? No, that's
this is like them and their older. It's like
yeah. Those are not. Yeah, no, these figures are not affiliated with the Build-A-Figure. There was an error in the description. So
gotcha.
that Anoa Legacy will be separate, and then we'll get a Dusty Rhodes head with probably 6 or Ultimate Warrior. They just didn't show. The arms will come with 1, probably with Warrior, and then the head will come with 6. That's just a guess.
Okay.
So, yep.
That's just weird how they did that, and I always find it weird when a Build-A-Figure is just another figure. Like, I've been trained that Build-A-Figure should be deluxe, or it should be like that figure that no one would buy any other way without buying a complete wave.
One of my favorite conversations on a Toy Kind of Mood, and it was so great. I don't remember who was on the episode, but we were talking about Build-A-Figures for Classified, how it would be cool to have. I think it got to the point where we're like, it'd be cool to like build little battle stations or build. I think we talked about this last week. It would be cool to build a Transformer from an Energon universe, like a smaller Transformer or something like that. Like, there's a way to do a Build-A-Figure in G.I. Joe that wouldn't piss people off. Obviously the sell-through pisses people off because they want the cherry pickers, but most people that collect Classified are all in, right? I mean, most. At this
I think
point,
so. I would say most.
80%, 75%. Yeah.
Brian was alluding to. I just saw something from Gridiron. Travis, you know what it is. Like, I didn't see a new drop, so yeah. But I'm always
look at the website or social media and see.
We can go to the website. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick.
While you go to the website, I'll go to his social media. We'll tag team this up and see what's up.
So I mean, there's the Arctic Grenadier, and there's also Arctic Mortar Mission, and just the snowshoes by themselves, which is great. We just want to give those to other like Arctic troopers that you may have already customized or anything like that. I'm not really seeing anything. Not seeing anything here.
I don't see anything new
on the socials. We'll go back.
Maybe Brian can fill us in.
He said it was on Facebook. So let me go ahead and go to his Facebook real quick.
Facebook,
and then we'll go ahead and go back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Leanne's got a really nice painted up bike for Helix, man. That looks amazing.
Yeah, but so does this. So let me go ahead and share.
You found something?
This. Yeah. I found something. All right.
Oh, the
Dude's making
47.
his own. He's making his own MMS, and he's gonna put it on the drones.
Ooh, there we go.
That's gonna be nice.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that drone that I got for the Alley Vipers because I felt like the
Oh
Alley
yeah,
Vipers because of that color, the orange and blue. I'm like, they're so distant from everyone else that's in Joe. How do we sprucing up this display? And that drone just made it perfectly, and it's not too wacky. It fits right in. And it's really well done. They gave me a prototype too. They were saying like in the review that some of the retail stuff has been fixed from. I didn't have a whole lot of complaints, but like the ball joint was loose and stuff. But they were like, that's not happening with the ones that they're shipping out. So
okay,
go check out their MPACs. They're awesome.
yeah, man. And also, let me go ahead and just give a shout out to your video
Oh, thank you.
over at 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐬. So definitely check that out. Check out my dude's work.
That's what's up.
Going right into the detail. I was half joking, but you have a great Cosmic Legions video that I actually had to make myself stop watching for a minute, so I didn't just go run out and buy those Cosmic
Yeah.
Legions. Especially they were on sale at Big Bad Toy Store at the time. I don't think the sale is still on. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not going to look
It's
because I
still
can't.
on till the end of July,
I,
and I have that window browser open, and I just look at it every day, and my hand shake, and then I stop looking at it.
I gotta save my money for Comic Con. It's happening. I'm going, so I am
Right.
like I am just I just have to behave. I had to be I had to
Well, let me
behave.
ask you this, right? We're both going to Comic-Con. Like, are you looking to buy anything specifically at Comic-Con? Besides the exclusives, like we all
Like Once a
obviously want
Man and that kind of stuff. The
like all that
shirts,
stuff, but
the
like
shirts.
anything in particular that you're like,
There were some great shirts from Super Seven. There's like a great Blaster shirt. There's a great Silent Interlude shirt. Like that stuff. That's going to be great. So if I can go over to that, um, yeah, there's like some really cool stuff. Like they're going in. But this, I got to get my hands on this shirt. Like I got to get it. If it runs out, it runs out. But I will go in line and I will get that
those
shirt.
were at Joe Fest actually, but the my problem with that shirt is that the side I want it on the front, it's on the back. But
It, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take this one too. So I already have a great Soundwave shirt. So this will be a great
that one is cool. That blaster shirt.
great
It looks
counterpart to
kind of
that.
like a race car shirt, but it's cool.
I if I'm next time I'm in Compton though, I can't wear that shirt. So that's the thing. I can't wear that shirt in
No
Compton.
Crips
That's
there.
okay. I got a bone to pick. And there's a lot of great stuff, but I'm just limiting it to those two. And then of course,
Yeah.
Once a Man. I don't know if Nemesis Enforcer will be at Comic Con. I don't think so. I think it's just Cobra Commander, but yeah, I will take it. I will get my hands on that.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're still talking about Joe, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the HasLab that's coming up. Like we have gotten hints, right? These great propaganda style posters, um, But I think we all know we know what it is at this point. It's this. It's the rap.
Can we go back to those posters?
Sure,
So
sure.
I'm sorry I'm being bossy on your show, but I didn't get to go
You
on
really
last
are, but
night.
that's okay.
Hey, I didn't get to boss the boys around. By the way, shout out to Baldy, Tony, and Bobby. They had, if
Yes,
you
that was a
missed it,
fantastic episode.
one of the funniest episodes. Those three together were a good mix, and they were hilarious, man. I almost got in trouble at work watching it on my phone. But these propaganda artwork, we give a lot of shit to the marketing because you and I and our whole team and Punk and B and everybody, we're all in the full force. Obviously, we're the marketing, right? But they did a good job marketing this HasLab with the throwbacks, obviously, like the Uncle Sam and everything. But this is terrific. But this Baroness poster really had me thinking. I think Baroness was an early. I know, we had Ronan Doodles picked, did a nice like mock up of Baroness, and I was like, do we? And you got it. I see. But do we? We're gonna get Baroness maybe in the plane, but she's talking good about Destro. Is it going to be some kind of communication between her and like Destro, or is it part of
Might
like
be some fun
another
stuff.
program?
It could be
Yeah,
fun.
is it part of another program that runs alongside the HasLab to support it, like with the spoiler and all that? Remember, we got Iron Grenadiers coming out, so there could be some kind of weird connection or some kind of like, thing where the Iron Grenadiers go against this and they're in battling kind of thing, like we see in the current comic. I don't know. I'm trying to think about what that Baroness poster could lead to. Am I looking into it too much, or is it just, hey, let's just stick Baroness on it and promote the
I
Rattler? Or
think
what do you
there's a
think?
tendency to really look into things because all we have is hype and speculation. We make
Right.
content off of speculation and hype. That's what we do. So
It's
I
what we
get it.
do. But look, it says Mars Industries right there. Like there's a logo for it, right? So it's got to be like, I don't think the Rattler is Mars Industries, right? That's more of a Cobra Command
No.
thing.
It can
So
easily be Mars Industries. It could be
it
like
could. I
like
mean, it is a weapon of destruction for sure, right? It's a bomber. But I'm trying to, and I don't know. They're telling a story here, and I can't wait to find out.
yeah, it's fun and they're good at it.
Yeah,
They're good at it, and they have a lot to pull from. It's like
yeah,
it's gonna be great.
yeah,
I am running out of space, so I just need to see what happens, to see how it looks before I make any pronouncements. But I'm
yeah.
liking what I'm seeing. Um,
Mm.
and there's any number of things. Even if it ends up not being the Rattler, one of these days we need to get a Rattler HasLab, but it's gonna be the Rattler. We know that. Shout out to Ronin Doodles.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Shout out to Ronin Doodles. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Instagram. Really great work here, as
He's
always.
awesome. He's
Yeah.
awesome, and he also gave us a shout on IG and was like, "Yeah, I'd be flattered for if you guys showed my stuff." Because I asked him first. I didn't want to just start throwing his renders up there. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if any of your audience, see a lot of familiar faces. If any of them are going to Comic-Con.
Yeah, if you're going to Comic Con, let us know in the chat, and hopefully we'll see you there. That'd be pretty awesome. I had to choose. I had to choose between Joe Fest and Comic Con. So, and I never know if I'm gonna go for sure. Like my goal next year is to like have that in the bag so I can plan things out even further in advance. But if I have to choose, it probably is going to be San Diego Comic Con. Evan Foster
Oh,
says, "I am
oh
article."
yeah, Eben Foster is my roommate at Comic-Con. We're sharing a hotel
That's
space
awesome. That's
with
awesome.
My Damn Toys. So we got a pretty good setup of good guys there. It's gonna be fun. But I guess the reason I'm asking is because the fan stream, I was really worried about it because they were like, "Oh, it's 11 a.m." And I'm like, "Man, it's when like the WWE panel is and all." No, it's 11 a.m. Eastern. I get to wake up and have a cup of coffee and watch the fan stream before I even walk over to the convention. So it's
All right.
8 a.m. Pacific time, the fan stream on Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So before us folks try to get into Comic-Con around 10 or 11, we've got 30, 40 minutes to watch the fan stream. We've got plenty of time. So eggs and Hasbro. Can't wait.
All right, cool, man. I want to get to all things Fresh Monkey Fiction. Once again, you had a fantastic episode where we had the crew from that line. That was a great episode. Everyone definitely check that out. But I just want to say real quick,
Thank
people they need to keep their eyes out on Brian Brink's HasLab charts. Once we get word of what the HasLab will end up being,
you.
um, we can really contrast and compare and see where the how it compares to previous HasLabs like this, right? So like this is a really good example. This is really in depth, and you can see sort of like almost the strength of a HasLab to see just how it's performing. So there's some really cool stuff that lies ahead. But once again, I just want to give a special shout out. I'm always showing your stuff off, Moods. I'm always doing that. But I want to give a special shout out to uh, your episode with Bill from Fresh Monkey Fiction and Chris Scott from Grindhouse. Really good stuff. Really fun time. Excellent work. So everybody go check that out while we go ahead and we touch on this. So, man, a lot of great stuff from Fresh Monkey Fiction. We're going to go right into the cops, the Popo, fighting crime in a future time. It's going to be pretty cool, man. I'm excited about this Bulletproof, some of the soft goods. This was at a convention. Did they have this stuff at Joe Fest or what?
They had a mock-up of it. It was like a grayscale mock-up, so we didn't see any paint apps or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I think I'm at the point where I'm just anything 112 Fresh Monkey does, I'm just gonna have to get it. You know, it's quality. There's a purpose behind everything. The guy Bill Murphy's amazing guy. He's obviously working with two of the buddies there, Chris and Mark Von Cannon. Chris Scott's a freaking fun guy. Obviously makes a lot of great 118 toys himself. Gridiron, you guys know. I just want to support them. And the good thing about Cops and Crooks is it's on Tubi, right? So I kind of like, it's my background thing. I just like, even if I'm not paying attention, it's just on. It's kind of like a Real American Hero was during COVID, right? You just throw it on in the background while you're doing dishes.
Yeah.
Cops is now replacing that because I've watched those other YouTube A Real American Hero. Because I didn't know Cops. I didn't mess with Cops in the late 80s. I was getting out of it. I was doing whatever. You know, I'm not afraid to admit that. But the good thing is, KJ, we're only getting one figure at a time on Cops, and it's going to depend on how well it does. He did an interview with Toy News after mine and reiterated that, you know, there it is. There's the grayscale. He's going to do this one figure. If it does great, then, you know, we'll do the big boss. And, you know, was it like, is it, I'm not Cypher. Who's the other? I'm trying to think of the gal there. So it's not Alpha. She's got a name like that, like Selfer.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's awesome. Like kind of like X-Men type detective. Yeah. So he's going to take his time making these because it costs a lot of money to do a unique mold that you can't use again, right? With Operation Monster Force, they're going to reuse all that. It's all getting reused a million times over in a million unique ways. This is it. You make Bulletproof, like you're not making this again. It's going to be mostly out of pocket. So he's very careful with this line here.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat once again. I gotta save up my pennies for Joe Fest next year, man. We'll see what we make happen. Can't wait for Monster Force. 𝐁𝐤 𝐆𝐞𝐬, I agree. Once again, you guys are never late. You're always fashionably on time. Thank you for rocking with us. Whenever you get here, we appreciate it. Shout out to Toy Optics, David Speck. Yes, please like and subscribe. Let's get this going.
Absolutely.
Let's get those likes up, people. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move on. All this stuff is looking great, man. I'm digging everything that's going on here. And once again, I'm going to direct people to watch that episode of Toy Kind of Mood. I believe it was 177, with Grindhouse Toys and Fresh Monkey Fiction. Watch that. Goes into depth. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going to here. I'm just saying that I like where this is at. So like this, it helps that Gridiron is doing a lot of the weapons here, getting Gridiron molds and actually getting injection molded Gridiron accessories. That's like the best of both worlds right there. I'm liking everything from Monster Force, Soldiers of Fortune, Eagle Force, you name it. It's like you can mix and match. You want to do like Reanimator type stuff. Like it's crazy. And I know Fresh Monkey Fiction, they have the 4-inch Eagle Force stuff, so it's great to see them doing it in 112 scale. I want Chatsworth to have a jetpack. I need a jetpack Chatsworth. I want a Sasquatch with a humongous Gatling gun and a jetpack. Like that has to happen. I don't really care how it happens, but it has to. Shout out to GI Bro. I agree. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, great head sculpts you can use probably with the Joes if you're resourceful and get your Dremel on. But you can also swap it with anything Fresh Monkey Fiction. So you get Soldiers of Fortune heads. You can use them with Operation Monster Force, Eagle Force, Crimson Moon, you name it. So it's just really good stuff. Shout out to the homie Mark Von Cannon getting his own action figure. And once again, I really, really like that shotgun. I'm always showing this off. Here's my John Wick custom with that same shotgun. You can get this shotgun now at Gridiron Props. but you'll be able to get it injection molded once you get that gridiron action figure. It's just a really good fun time to be doing all this stuff.
My Range Viper has that shotgun. I do want to mention something. You said the Eagle Force. He said Eagle Force would be coming in 112, but you can't use those heads on the 118 figures, obviously. But I just wanted to mention that the Eagle Force is coming in 112, but they haven't even announced anything. They just announced it kind of like on our podcast, but they didn't say like.
Oh, well, I thought these were 112. These are 118.
No, 118.
Okay, 118. Okay. I thought that was 112.
Yep.
My fault. Thank you for that.
No, you're good. It's good to clarify that. And then I want to ask you, because I know Tony was excited when we talked about the Soldiers of Fortune, because Bill said this is the line I make for customizers, right? Or people like to classify up their class up their classifieds or whatever, right? So to me, are you more excited for this or the Monster Force?
Monster Force. I think it's just more like this stuff is generic, and I get that people want to put head sculpts on this. They want to make their own ranks with it. I get all that. And that stuff's always fun doing that. That's why people really enjoy the Valaverse Action Force, because they're kind of like nameless troops. You can do whatever. You can make them SWAT. You can make them future cops. You can do all sorts of stuff. So with this, it's really tempting. I can have the Punisher wreck these guys. I can make the dudes on the right aim, like just make them like souped up aim troopers and whatnot. Be like, we're getting our asses kicked. Get the aim mercenaries, that kind of stuff, right? So it just depends. But I just like crazy toy shit. So whenever we can get that stuff, like we talk about like monsters and shit, like, yeah, this is I'd much rather like have something just crazy. Have like, vampire SWAT. Like I want them to make like a creature from the Black Lagoon, but Navy SEALs. Like I want that. Like I want to take like the 60th anniversary recon divers and put on the Jita Toys Gillman heads and just had monster divers. Like I want that. So that's the kind of stuff I like. I want that jetpack Chatsworth. Like, please, Bill from Fresh Monkey Fiction, you're listening. Please give me a deluxe Chatsworth Sasquatch jetpack trooper. Like that's going to be. I need that. I need that in my life. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think like now that we're getting really deep into classified, and it's a lot of, obviously the last wave was tremendous, the Doc Jinx wave, and we're getting another great wave, but I'm almost more excited for this. And I'm not a horror person either. I'm not a horror guy, but it made me a horror guy. Like I like horror comics, and they're tying into horror comics, so I think it's the Operation Monster Forces with all the different sculpts. Everybody's a deluxe figure. And then feeling them in hand, right? So we got those translucent figures, and that was important to feel the figure and know that it's a good product. Because you can make all the renders you want and all the promises you make. And he's gotten a lot of flack for that pre-order model, but actually to have them in hand, and I know Punk agrees, it's like we're getting good quality stuff. So that really like made me excited. And it's a fresh line. Who doesn't want to start with a fresh line like we did 4 years ago, right? It's exciting.
Yeah. And once again, I'm always giving you shout outs, but you're putting in hella work, dude. So like definitely check out once again that video.
Thanks, man.
With the exclusives, just really cool stuff. And just really going all the way in depth. Like it's to just keep up the good work, because it really is great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I want to touch on Crimson Moon, because this stuff ties directly into what we were talking about earlier with Quarrel and Z Force and everything else, right? So that's, and I'm with Kim Best here. Like when this shows up, it shows up. When it comes, it comes. I mean, that's how my girlfriends deal with me. When it comes, it comes. It's fine. But we're seeing a lot of really good stuff, and I'm really excited about it. Like everything Crimson Moon I'm getting, because it's designed to be fitted back into Action Force. So once again, let me just go ahead, just for context. Like here's some of the vintage Action Force stuff that we're seeing, right? You see the troopers, you see the officers, you see like the crazy Dr. Ironblood and whatnot, we see some of the vehicles, right? Shout out to Robo Skull. I think that's like a Robo Skull tank on the right. That's insane. The Havoc got
Crazy.
remold. Yeah. So if Hasbro wants to do this, if Lenny and the Joe team want to do this, we could get some crazy Crimson shit going on. We got that Robo Skull coming in from Skeletron. Shout out to Ben and Matt from Skeletron.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. But let's go ahead and take it back to Crimson Moon. Hold on a second. There we go. Take it back to Crimson Moon. So some of this stuff you can reuse, right? We got Quarrel showing up in classified series. We got this stuff coming from Fresh Monkey Fiction, from Big Bad Workshop, weapons from Gridiron. Like, how excited are you for getting this Action Force, this Palatoy aesthetic in 1/12 scale?
Through the roof. It's a synergy of everything coming out. The Red Skull, the books that I talked about earlier about the Battle Action Force, being able to get context. I always like a story behind the figures. That's why I'm digging Cosmic Legions. They have this built-in narrative that's pretty great. And you obviously we got the comic pages coming with Monster Force, but to have Battle, Red Shadows, Action Force, this whole Palatoy history to tie into this, it's substance. It's not just how they look. Some people are going to buy it because it looks like Cobra Commander or it looks like this and it's going to fit in. Some people are going to buy it because they want to be invested in the lore. I've read everything that's on freshmonkeyfiction.com. Go check it out. It's awesome. Different like little bios and stories on all the figures coming to Crimson Moon. It's a good read and it's got me excited for it. This is the line that opened my eyes. When I saw Monster Force, I was like, Frankenstein and Dracula. It's kind of seen it a million times. I don't need this. They mixed it with Call of Duty. Good for them. But when I saw Crimson Moon, I was like, I need to go back and see and really pay attention to what they're doing in Monster Force. And then I was like, it all made sense,
Yeah. I just want to say, like, when people collect this stuff, they respond to something. And I see it in their collections. I see it in my collection and whatnot. Whether you're troop building Cobra, you're troop building Red Shadows, Order of the Crimson Mood from Fresh Monkey Fiction. It's just a golden age, and we're able to have this golden age because of what came before. So that's why it's worth looking at stuff like Palatoy, looking at stuff like Plastorama in South and Central America, that kind of thing. Just seeing how far-reaching this culture and this community goes. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff.
It's exciting.
I'm very excited. And once again, leading off from Fresh Monkey Fiction, I want to talk about this. I'm always looking at the new, right? But also like hearkening back to what came before. So this is sort of like my little series I do on Black Genghis Live, how to reboot cops. And when I asked you earlier, like what were some reboots that you think got the job right when they were touching on different properties and whatnot? Like what makes a successful reboot?
Oh, what properties or what makes a successful reboot?
We'll start with what properties. What do you think was a good reboot that they did?
Well, I think my initial thing was like, I was obviously stumped, and then I was like, oh, well, Energon Universe is doing a great job rebooting G.I. Joe. We're getting a lot of origin stories, and they're adding a lot of depth to a lot of these characters that make sense in the modern world, right? And I think that's key. But we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
I think you get the images there, but yeah, I mean, we've gotten crossovers between Transformers and G.I. Joe, but we never got like this full-blown continuity, right?
Yeah, this interwoven storytelling.
They always said like, because what is it, 150 pages of Joe and then another 150, and GI and Transformers were in what, 5 to 10 books, but this is like, even when they're not there, they're there, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, you feel the Transformers with the Energon, you feel the Joes when you're reading the Transformers. So I think it was daring, and they did a good job.
Okay. And what do you think are some of the elements, like besides like when we see with Energon Universe interweaving the characters, really making them interconnected? What are some other examples, like movies? Like, what do you think? Like, that makes it
Well,
successful.
well, I want to talk about the elements, if you don't mind. I think because that's what I have in my mind right now is paying proper homage to what was there and not just taking a name. Like I'm gonna take Duke or Snake Eyes and just make it my own. It's carefully like respecting the source material, really carefully doing it, and that's what a good reboot does, but making it fresh and exciting where it makes sense. It has to make sense to new fans and old fans. It's really hard to do. That's why a lot of reboots fail. And I think one of the ones that did that great is the Planet of the Apes, the new
Okay, yeah.
Rise, Dawn, whatever. All these, I think those movies, the old Planet of the Apes back in way back in the day were respected, and then obviously, unfortunately, my dude Maki Mak. Shout out to the Boston Celtics, but he didn't get it done. He didn't get it done with that first Planet of the Apes, but they definitely nailed it with I think it was Rupert and then Matt Reeves and all that. Yeah, they did. They killed it.
Yeah.
The three. I didn't see the newest one, but the Kingdom. But the first three movies of the reboot were awesome.
It was good. They did a good job with Kingdom. I was saw it in theaters, loved it. I picked it up on digital. They did a good job. Yeah,
nice.
So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, highly recommend it. And once again, that original trilogy, all the way back to the '60s, but really the stuff with Andy Serkis, especially the ones that Matt Reeves did, the second and the third one, really great. Yes. But the first one was okay too. It was a good start. But
it was solid start. Yeah.
All right, man. So once again, rebooting Cops. I think once again the best way to go is you go back to the comics. So here we see some of the comics. There was a DC run, and doing the comics same as now, but Energon Universe back then, it's an easy way to get the aesthetics, the styles, and the characters' voices down. So you can show off the world, and it's a cheaper way to do it. You're talking about ink and paint on the page, right? You can have the cartoons and have all that stuff. But I think you do the comics, and you can kind of do what Skybound did. Like I would say you just do Bulletproof. Like you just start with Bulletproof. Then you can do Long Arm. Then you can do Sundown. Then you can do Buttons, right? That kind of stuff. And then you bring it all together once you set the table, and then you can have that fuller world. So I feel like doing comic books is a really good way of explaining that world.
So basically like the Energon. Right,
the Energon
Commander, right. Duke, Scarlet, Destro, and then now here's G.I. Joe. So I think that's a brilliant idea. It's a formula that clearly works, and it's got a lot of the same audience. So I think it makes sense. Yeah,
So you can really pull that off. I'm hollering at the chat real quick. Yeah, I figure Fight Club says new one was really good. The Planet of the Apes. Love me some POTA, the Bumblebee movie. Yeah, and I think Transformers 1 is going to be a good prequel as well. I have faith in the cast and crew. Sonyomic says, watching cool people talking about toys. Oh, shucks. Really appreciate it, man. Enjoy the toy vibes. Yeah, I got to open up all my shit, too. Shout out to the homie Brian. Oh, yeah. Made the handcuff gloves out of construction. I made so much stuff out of construction paper, it's not even funny. But I think that when you establish a new world, you establish a new tone. I pretty much said the same thing about Mask. And they did this. They brought back Mask, I want to say about anywhere from 10 to 12 years ago in the comics, in Dark Horse Comics. And it was interesting. Yeah. So I think you do the comics and then you can do the show. Like once again, like what Energon did. But I think you need to really upscale it. So I say with Empire City, you treat it like a character. You do what anime does. You do what Akira did. You do what Ghost in the Shell did. And all the great future action pieces of cinema that we got from anime based off of manga. Like you really class up the work. So imagine like doing something like Cops, but doing it like this. Like really steep detail. I'm talking like on the level of like Blade Runner. Or some of the great works of anime, and that's how you do Cops, right? So shout out to Ghost in the Shell, shout out to any number of things. Like I love Japanese animation, anime. They really take architecture and world setting very seriously. The great Akira Toriyama, rest in peace. We have Miyazaki, in Studio Ghibli, who just retired with The Boy and the Heron. Would highly recommend it. But just the lush world building, the table setting. Like imagine an episode of Cops going down to some shit like this. You see what I'm saying? Like
I was gonna say, like, imagine like Gotham Central in a Toriyama world, right? Gotham
yeah,
Central, like you treat it like that, where like it's all about it. You have a Batman and Bulletproof, but it's about the world that you're in, and that's what makes it interesting. It's not really about the character is just there to support it. You know, you want to be invested in this crazy city.
right, right. And like there's and you also still want, great characterization, right? There's a reason why we still talk about these characters from Ghost in the Shell, 25 years after the fact. I mean, it was record breaking stuff, and there was nothing like it at the time. So if you have, if you can deepen the characters of Bulletproof and the rest of his gang, right? Like it doesn't need to be as kiddie. You can age it up a little bit and you can make the designs more sophisticated, more nuanced, right? What if they're bad cops? How do you stop a corrupt cop in the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, if a cop goes rogue and he has extremely dangerous firepower that's hypercharged, how do you stop that? Hey, shout out to Todd C. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, there's a big difference between that and this, and even this. Is like, that's the thing about anime. Like, they didn't really talk down to us as kids, like they never did. Like, there was some hard hitting stuff. Like, you talk about like the atomic bomb that dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They made anime about that, like really hardcore stuff, like Barefoot Gin or stuff like that. Grave of the Fireflies. So like, just don't talk down to your audience. I don't think the Joe material is talking down to us. I think that's the mistake Rise of Cobra did. Rise of Cobra, it feels like, was made for 8-year-olds. It's like, do you know who your audience is? You sort of have to age it up the way that Masters of the Universe, Revelations did, and everything else. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but we've talked about this. I think this is the way to get kids into GI Joe would be anime, and you can kind of walk that line where it doesn't have to be rated R like a Netflix cartoon, like a Cyberpunk or Castlevania, but it can feel like Masters of the Universe, where you have that Revelation or Revolution, where you have that same level of artwork as the ones I mentioned, and it's dark in tone and it can kind of go that way. I mean, look at Clone Wars and Rebels; they got to some pretty dark places with children as their main audience. So I think GI Joe could, we're connecting cops to GI Joe. That's what we do.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
I think
think one of
kind
the
of
characters is Beachhead's son. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's whether it's Cops or Joe, if you want to get people into your property, anime is the way to go. They're not exactly buying toys, but they're still into the Demon Slayer and Naruto and Dragon Ball and all that. So I think not anime is a smart way to get people into your properties, and you can appeal to a lot of people with anime. You just gotta get the tone right. Once you nail the tone, the success will come.
Yeah, yeah. Tone is everything, and that's how you can say what you want to say to people, right? Like that's really where that comes from. I think I think once again, going back to that golden age, there's a reason that people are really responding to what they're collecting now, because it's gotten so sophisticated and it's gotten so smart. Basically, like I can just do more with these figures in a way that it just wasn't possible before. The photography, and that's why we started Welcome to the Terror Drum. It was to talk about the customs, to talk about the friends that we were making on online and Facebook and everything else. So and I was touched by that, and I'm excited about where it's going to go next. We're still in the planning stages. We've reached out to the community and we've gotten some good feedback. A lot of people can't wait, and and still people can still watch those original episodes over on
And you know who's gonna have a front row seat? This guy right here. I'll be in
I
even if
appreciate
I'm at work, I'll be in the chat messing around.
appreciate that very, very much.
Aerodrome to the fullest, baby. It's all
Always. So look, man, I think we're
Speaking
getting to
of,
that. Oh, go ahead.
You got Tony right there. Speaking of,
Hey, thanks, man.
always
Thanks, man. I really
Moody.
appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Brick something. Yeah, man. Thanks. See, that's why I always love rocking with everybody here, man. It's like I learn so much and I get so much good energy, good vibes from everybody. And I just want to say, just a long time ago, um, you brought me on to this crazy ride, and I just want to say thanks, bro. I really do. I really want to say that.
No, thank you, man. You're always like you're the man. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, at this point, it's just like you might retire like 65 times on us, but you'll unretire twice as
Yeah,
many times. So that's
that's the
that's
fun
that's
time.
what matters.
That's the fun. That's the fun part of retirement. You can always unretire. That's the thing.
I know at this point between Ric Flair and Jay-Z, we can't get mad at you because we got mad at them too many times. But
Right.
bro, I don't know what else you got, but we could circle back around with Comic-Con and just kind of give maybe people a preview of what we're doing. I don't know. What do you
Sure.
think?
Let's go ahead. Let's take it. Let's take it all the way back. So what you got to say?
I mean, I'm just saying it's going to be great. I didn't even think I was going. I had no idea you were going. I was like, how do we not represent? We live in
I
California,
never know if I'm able to go or
right?
not
Yeah.
because it's it comes together so last minute. It's always last minute.
Yep. Yeah.
But I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I think the boys talked about it at the end of the episode last night, and and I would like it to be another way that next year. I think our brands, right? We got Tony's Figs, Baldy Locks, we got GHG coming out, Toy Optics, the Great Black Genghis, and a 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐬. I mean, brands are killing it. Everyone's doing great. To go as a team would be a dream. We had half the team
We'll get
at
there.
Joe
Yeah.
Fest. We had half the team at Joe Fest, and along with our allies like Toy Connections and A Punk with Toys, and it was fantastic, right? And all the fans that we hanging out with, and all the homies there, photographers and everything.
Yeah.
It'd be great to go to Comic-Con and represent, and be there as a team and set it up and do some live stuff and stuff like that. This year it's too last minute. I don't know, but I don't think we're gonna do like live interviews and all that. Like it's a lot of people don't understand, but it's a lot of technical work. There are some people in the business that can go by themselves and they're professional YouTubers, right? Or they're professional at this. I mean, we could, but it's like we have such great shows. This is a great show. A 𝐁𝐿𝐤𝐚𝐬's a great show. I'd rather invite people to our show later than like try to record something on our phone with thousands of people walking around and that's attention please, the hall is full, like over and over again. I mean, we did it. It's what put us on the map with
Yeah.
Hasbro, but I don't know. What are you thinking, KJ? How do you feel about Comic-Con and how to cover Comic-Con with just us two and not the team,
I don't deal with expectations. I leave myself open to the moment. I try to stay present. I always say this: gratitude. Gratitude is everything. I'm grateful for our friendship. I'm grateful to be able to be there in San Diego with not only yourself but other friends of mine, you other friends of yours, to see the panels. I didn't think I was going to be able to go see the panel back in 2022, and that's why we fought like hell not to have our content pilfered from other people that were named nameless on this episode, right? So we'll see what happens. But really, shout out to Flawful. What's up, man? And yeah, well, we're trying to get the press. We're trying to get the press pass. That's how that works.
Well, actually, let's follow up on that. So, a year ago when we applied for this, we were like hovering around 1,000 subscribers, and to Comic-Con, it's small fish. And we've been grandfathered in with Geeks Have Game. I think when it gets a point when you're there 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they just let you in. They don't really, as long as the website's working. And the website was down because we made some changes. We transferred, and I was honest about everything. And I said, but ever since COVID, we've been working on this YouTube channel, GHG, and it's doing really well. And they saw it and they were like, well, it doesn't say GHG or Geeks Have Game, but all right, you've been going for 10 or 11 years to Comic-Con. We'll make an exception. Thankfully, that exception lasts 2 years.
Right.
So But I would like Bobby to have his badge because it does say Geeks Have Game, and he's going to be running the website hopefully and all that stuff. But I think a Toy Kind of Mood is big enough or strong enough to get in as press, and hopefully we'll get enough badges to hook up people who are willing to make the trip. Tony's not too far. Specs in town. Bobby's been to Comic-Con a million times, and Baldy traveled to Joe Fest. I think it's all
We'll
reasonable
see.
to happen. I think
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because like I said, this is Geek Mecca. This is Geek Mecca. So if we can make that work, that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing to do it. As to borrow a phrase from our friend, in full force. That'd be worth it.
It'd be
Yeah,
a
man.
dream
Like,
come true,
yeah,
but I think it's realistic dream. I think it can happen, and I think just going there as a team, we can get a lot done and have a lot of fun at the same time.
yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be priceless. But we'll still. That said, I guess we'll just go and see what happens. We're gonna obviously mingle with a lot of good people and have a lot. I just want to have a good time. You and I both work a lot now, right?
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
you've always been working, but I was last year was like doing food deliveries and everything like that and working the occasional good gig, but now I'm always on set working, and thankfully they granted me the days off so I can make it, and I'm gonna make the most of it. So I'm not going there for as much business as pleasure, but we'll definitely make it happen when we're there.
All right. Yeah, man. There's a lot. Whenever I can engage with the community, it's totally worth it. But it takes time. It takes traveling. It takes planning, and it takes a lot of stuff
Yeah.
coming together. But it's so worth it. I still think very fondly to our time in 2022. That was an excellent Comic Con, and
That's the thing. We had the whole team at the time there. So
yeah,
next year, if we go as a team, of course, we'll have microphones and stands and different interview people and cameramen, and we can make it happen live. I think for you and I, we'll play it by ear, and if things
yeah.
come
We'll
up
play
and
by
we should
ear.
do it,
We'll play by
sure.
ear. Yeah.
But I think overall, just mingling with people and having a presence and doing strong social media, I think will be good.
All right. Well, look, man. Before we go, let me go ahead and holler at the socials. And like I said, like we're Wu-Tang Clan up in here, so it's a lot. But that being said, we start with the flagship, the Toy Kind of Mood, over at YouTube. Once again, check out all these great episodes, great
Thank you.
reviews. Night Force
Thank you.
Shockwave. Um,
Wow, look at I didn't even look at those numbers. Both of those videos are almost at 1,000
look,
views.
man. Hold
Wow.
on a second. Did you have fun making the video? Like,
Nope,
obviously, I'm not a numbers guy.
I
Like,
only care about numbers. I hate toys. I hate people. If
that's
I
fair.
don't get good numbers, I don't sleep at night. No,
Got
I
it.
fucking love this. Look, I was telling you this. Yeah, I know I'm a business-minded motherfucker now that this channel's up and running and doing good. But I put a lot of work into the reviews because I enjoy it. I show the part reuse. I research everything that comes with it. I don't just do an unboxing. And people who do unboxings are great. I put a lot of fucking effort into everything I do with the Toy Kind of Mood, whether it's producing our live streams every week or doing the short content. It's a lot of work, and I love every second of it. But yeah, I'm gonna be concerned if they don't do well, and they're doing great. I'm fucking happy. So
Yeah.
we're kicking ass, man. We're doing good.
Once again, this was a great uh, a review that was threatening
Thank
to
you,
cost
man.
money. Yep, just like Lay's just can't eat just one. Like,
Thank you.
stop that shit. No, I'm kidding. And we're getting better
Mm,
together, man. Episode
appreciate that,
180,
man.
episode 190, episode 200. We're on the
Wow,
road.
180.
We're on
180. Hey,
the
shout out to the
road.
boys again. Everybody on Toy Kind of Mood. Spec, Baldy, Tony, Bobby. Oh, we're killing it, bro.
ATKM
Killing it.
200. It's coming. We're cooking this shit up. We're stirring up that pot. All right, get the baking soda. We got this. That's how we do it,
We're
man.
serious
And
players in this game.
also, Toy Kind of Mood
Yep.
on. Thank you for the shout out, Black Genghis Live. I appreciate you, dude. Toy Kind of Mood
Always.
on
Always.
Instagram. A lot of great posts, hilarious stuff. Everything's tied into the ecosystem. Dude,
Another
shouting
Black
me out.
Genghis Live. There you
Yeah.
go.
You-
Anything, it's like you said, it's Wu-Tang. Anything any of the guys do that appear in any of our hosts or analysts or whatever you want to call us on a Toy Con Mood, if you working on any videos, photos, whatever it is that's getting shared on our stuff. That's what
yeah,
we're all family. It's not always about, I think people are like, oh, Toy Kind of Mood, Travis and all that. And sure, I'm the social media guy, I do all the reviews, but when it comes to the live stream every week, which is our bread and butter, and it's family. It's family that everybody's
got an album out, right? Like you like the Wu-Tang, everyone's got their solo joint, and I'm there to share. I'm there to support. I'm there to watch it when I can and
I
comment.
need to like more
Yeah.
of your posts, bro. Like that's what I need to start doing. All right, good.
Yeah, you just got exposed, bro. You got
Man, shut
exposed,
up.
son.
I'm busy at work, man. There, I already like that one.
Like Raekwon and Ghostface, you got exposed, son. What are you thinking, kid? Yeah, but yeah,
All right.
look at that. Me posing figures for once. I never do that. Look at that.
Well,
I
you
had
should
fun.
do it more often because you're good at it. You should do
Good
that
set.
more often.
That was a good set.
All right. Shout out to the
Thank you.
homie. Shout out to Bobby Behar
He's
on
talking.
TikTok.
Can hear him.
Oh, you know what? I can't mute it because on the previews you can. There we go.
Bobby's one of the best
Bobby's
people alive. He's one of the best people I've ever known. He's just the salt of the earth of the channel. He's the heart and soul. He keeps all us crazy motherfuckers glued. He's so calm and we need this guy. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
he's the best.
Bobby's
And
the
I can't
reason
wait for him to have his own. What's up?
Bobby's the reason I haven't left y'all yet. So there's that.
Right. No, he's a mediator, right? He's the one who keeps the peace, and he can be crazy too, but he needs his own. I know he's a busy man. He's married. He's working. He's had a lot of family stuff going on. He had the hurricane. God bless him. I know. I'm glad he's.
Yeah.
I give him shit for his shit Wi-Fi, but you know he's trying to make things happen. He's gone through a lot of stuff the last couple of years, but I am his number one fan, and I really can't wait till once the clouds move on and the coast settles, he gets his YouTube channel, because when it comes to comics and pop culture, man, that guy is unmatched. He knows even when they were doing the SDCC preview of Marvel Comics, he knew the panel. He's like, that panel is from that guy's got such a brain for Marvel and DC and pop culture that it needs to expand beyond toys, and I can't wait for him to do that.
Yeah. And it's a lot of the stuff that's on TikTok, he can just put that on YouTube. He can just put that on his YouTube shorts. He's basically making vertical YouTube content. So we'll talk. Bobby, holler at us. We can talk. We got stuff to talk about.
I don't know anything about the short, so I haven't done any. So you'll have to.
Yeah, all the TikTok. There's TikTok stuff all over YouTube. There's TikTok stuff all over Instagram. So I'm on TikTok for the wrong reasons. That's the only reason I'm on TikTok. Is for
that shaking ass booty.
Ass and titties. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, holler at.
I'm glad this is your show and not my family friendly motherfucking show.
Well, look, man, you're like it's family friendly. Whatever.
No, it's like kind of mood's crazy.
Whatever. Holler at the homie, my bro Tony's Figs over on Facebook at Tony's Figs 911. Always putting up stuff here. He breaks that shit down for your ass. If you don't know shit about figs and reuse, just listen to Tony. He'll tell you. And you already see the breakdown. He says it right himself. Outback's body, Range Viper plate carrier, steel core helmet. It's all. My dude has so much stuff. He can make that Night Force Falcon right now. Basically,
it's done.
But you gotta go to YouTube. Go to the YouTubes and check out these reviews, man. Putting in work.
My boy has some serious engagement. 20 videos, almost 1,000 views. It took us 7 years to get 1,000 views.
Don't even tell me how long. Don't tell me how long we've been trying to get those views up over at Toy Kind of Mood, over at Geeks Game.
This guy, man, him and Baldy got some crazy engagement.
They are the bruiser bros of this, man. They're but yeah, holler. All this stuff is good. All this stuff is great. Check out his Delta 17 recipe. Check out his dock. His custom dock is one of the best. As far as I'm concerned, the classified is neck and neck. It's neck and neck. It's a coin toss as which one's better. I love the pose. I love the pose he did here over on
with the Black Widow.
Yeah, it's great.
That's dope. You got a question or a comment about super chats, bro? Just heads up.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that.
Deep water.
Oh no, it's early days. I am not monetized yet. I believe I have gifts available on Instagram. If you want to holler at my Instagram and leave a gift, I would appreciate that very much, but you don't have to. Don't ever feel pressured about that, man. So thank you very much. And honestly, it's trying times. So if you holler at, and I say this to all my friends, holler at cleanwater.org, holler at UNICEF USA, and holler at Doctors Without Borders, especially now. If you holler at those, you can leave it in my name or not. $5, $10, any little bit helps, and that goes for everyone in the chat, man. Clean water, UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders. That would mean a great deal to me. Go ahead and support those factions and those people. I'm doing all right. I got a full-time job, which is why you don't see too much toy tubing content coming out of me, because I got to take care of that first. But I just want to say thank you all very much. That's Toy Kind of Mood with some TNA. That's only figs. I'm going to start that only figs. Not explicit. It's not explicit.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. You're a good dude.
He's a good ass dude. KJ's the best.
Also, oh shucks, don't gas me up, homie. But anyway, Tony's Figs, you gotta love it. Go ahead and check that stuff out. And also check out Tony's Figs on Instagram as well. I told you the socials, it's very deeply involved. You can't go wrong. Shout out to the homie Zen, aka Baldy Locks. In fact, let's go over to Baldy Locks right now. Check out Baldy Locks showing some love to this new amazing.
That Falcon is that thing's hilarious. A Tinder profile picture.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
I am so glad he joined our crew officially, and I've had to step up my game standing next to this dude to be like, holy shit, even
when he's fucking cocked out of his mind, he's still a good host on the show.
And of course, you got to give a subscribe over to Baldy Locks over on YouTube as well. The dude, we've been taking up too much of his time, and he needs to keep cranking these out. So we appreciate you over here, man. But
when he does, look at those numbers. He gets he gets some serious fucking high numbers when he reviews.
Because we're some high class motherfuckers up in here, man.
He's a goat.
That's
we got a bunch of goats.
Yeah,
got a bunch of goats, and you got the wool right here. But yeah.
Shout out to Toy Optics. Don't forget to check him out over on Instagram.
Yo.
More people need to be looking at this stuff. The dude's a class act and just fantastic photography. We've been telling y'all for a long time. It's like, check out this dude's work.
It's Power Viper, good stuff.
Yeah. It's like, so give a like. Yeah, that's so crazy. These guys
it's like he's not on YouTube, and he's not YouTube. He hasn't been around the toy community a long time, but it's about adding another element. It's like pulling a Grant Hill, and you're getting Derek White over Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the NBA Finals, right? Jaylen Brown, NBA, he's wearing this hat everywhere he goes. But they picked Derek White, who's a perennial, he's a good all-star. But you need a Derek White. You need the guy to get the dirty plays, make the assists, work hard. You can't have a bunch of Jaylen Browns and Jason Tatums. I think that makes sense to have a great photography. He has a good business mind, a good business sense. Everybody brings something different to a Toy Kind of Mood. You can't have 6 Genghises and Moody. You can't have 6 alphas. You got to have everybody kind of filling in the spots and filling their lanes and using their different expertise and giving us some all around.
I honestly think we transcend alphas. We transcend omegas. Everyone's doing their own thing and everyone's good at it, and we all keep getting better at it. Like at the same time, it's like Tony's better, Specs better. Me, Zen, even you, believe it or not. Like I told you, like you're getting I meant when I said about the Instagram post, like. The stuff is like it's funnier, it's more engaging, more energy. I see the difference in energy than what you're doing, like from 2021 and everything else. Like you're really speaking to people, man. So just you keep up the good work as well, dude.
Thank you, man. I just want people to understand it's a lot of work. So sometimes I stress over it, but when it's done, I love it. I think it all, it's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be sometimes, people don't know this. When you edit a lot of video, when you upload it to YouTube fucks it up a lot. No, it's audio. No, and I have a good program I edit with, and that's a secret. But I do it, and I do this, and I rewatch it, and then I put it on YouTube, and I'm like, that wasn't supposed to happen. It happens. YouTube can fuck your shit up, and no one's left a comment like, "What's with this?" Like you're talking and it's showing something else, but that happens. It just fucks up, and it's the YouTube transfer and all, because there's millions and billions of videos going up at YouTube at the same time. They can only handle so much, and they're using shit resources to do it. So it's gonna happen. But At the end of the day, I'm very proud of the work that we've done, both on mostly on the live stream, because it's fun. It's a hangout we get to do, and the community is amazing.
Yeah.
Meeting the people in person and having, anywhere from 50 to 150 people join us every Wednesday, depending on who's on, what we're talking about. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and it keeps us moving. It keeps us going, and we can't thank the audience enough, right? We can't thank the community. We're glad that we're a small staple in this community, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun, and I'm grateful for it. Last but not least, y'all can holler at my black ass over at Instagram at Black Genghis. It's always fun. I am my crowning achievement, the classified series checklist. I'm probably going to end up updating it in a week and a half's time. Y'all might have to wait till I come back from Joe Fest. But yeah, man, I was glad to like spit some science about Quarrel to calm people the fuck down. But no, people have been showing love. They're excited for this figure. They love the rollout from the 2-pack. So I'm glad for that as well. So hop over to the Instagrams and take a look. And also was able to get on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe. This was a year ago. I am working on getting more reviews up. Right now, I've just been streaming. Really proud of the history of Joe Classified Series. Check this out. But this may be my favorite video I've done yet. And it's an interview.
Now, everyone has to see this video.
Yeah.
Corey Cantaloupe, Friday's on. That was a crazy get. I think it was like 4th of July weekend. It was posted at midnight, whatever. But this is a great quality stream. Yeah. Corey had a lot of fun. He was very in depth. Fred brought it. So like they showed off a lot of crazy stuff that inspired the classified figures that we had that I didn't know about. And it was like a crazy learning lesson about what goes on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Like this, they didn't hide. They weren't like talking shit. They're not bitter. They moved on and they're doing great. Skeleton and boss fight and everything. But it's like they were talking about what it's like to be at Hasbro, what it's like to work there and everything. It was a great interview.
Yeah, man. I'm really proud of that. I'm glad that Tony and Fred enjoyed themselves and had a great time.
They had a good time.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not for me, it's not about the numbers. I want people to see it. I want people to see what Corey and Fred have to say. And the people who really get the most out of it, they're seeing it and they're responding very well. So I'm always, it could be a year from now, I'm going to be like, check out this interview I did, watch it, blah, blah. Like I'm probably going to pin it to the channel wall because it was just that good. And I appreciate them giving me their time. And everybody watching, I appreciate you sharing your time with me as well. It means a lot because you could be doing any number of things. And Mr. Trav Moody, thank you for your time and for your participation, for being maestro over at A Toy Kind of Mood and visiting my little shack here over on YouTube. So I appreciate it.
But at least the shack had a red carpet for yours truly, so I appreciate it. No, I'm joking. But no, when you're at Comic-Con and people are like, KJ, what up? What are you up to? That's what you talk about. Like, I'm good. You talk about your personal life, but you talk about that interview with Corey and Fred, and that's the networking line right there. You use that. I love it.
Thanks, man. All right, man. Well, we're gonna go ahead and go. Have yourself a great time. Drink your water. Drink coconut water, electrolytes, and
White Claw if you're silly with it.
White Claw if you're silly with it, and and we'll see you over in San Diego Comic-Con. And you can holler at the squad next week as well. We'll see what happens. Maybe we take next week.
I mean, at this point, we're like, I think I'm going straight from work on Wednesday to Comic-Con. There probably won't be an episode. I don't think I want to worry about what goes on at A Toy Kind of Mood while I'm trying to get to Comic-Con. I may just give everyone the week off. And there's going to be so many things online anyway, and
right. And there's going to be people to meet. I like the people I meet at Comic-Con, especially at night. I've I have a decent track record. So
I think
but anyway,
likewise, man. I think there won't be an episode of A Toy Kind of Mood, but you just never know with us. You never know who's on. You never know who might show up as a guest.
Right.
It's just that kind of deal.
Yeah. All right, folks. Once again, have a good one and be excellent to one another. All right. Adios.
Cobra Rattler, it's the wickedest weapon yet, you know. Rattler's gonna get G.I. Joe.
Introducing the Cobra Rattler.
Triplet missiles! Rattler's gonna stop Joe!
G.I. Joe, American
It's
hero.
Rattlers!
G.I. Joe is there.
We're outnumbered! That belongs! No, Joe!
Cobra Rattler comes with pilot. Other G.I. Joe and Cobra figures and equipment sold separately from Hasbro.